it does depend a lot on what you're trying to align on. Just to give one example, affirming what you were saying about Claude, I recently had the opportunity to participate in an MIT workshop on AI and human flourishing. And I was in a particular subgroup focused on AI and critical thinking and how these tools do or don't support us in having agency and actually doing our own reasoning in the world. And just as a very kind of superficial test, one of the things that we did is we built out a preliminary set of evaluations around um, basically how do models respond when prompted to help think through something. Help me think through a decision. Help me think through writing an essay. And even with this very, very rudimentary test that we basically built in a hackathon, what we saw was that there were very different approaches, right? Some systems, when you interacted with them, if you said like, "Help me think through this," they'd be like, "Okay, I've written it for you," and you're like, "Well, that wasn't actually what I wanted. I wanted to be challenged. I wanted to do my own thinking." In that, and I won't say anyone was perfect, but we did notice that the Claude responses, even if they didn't necessarily ask follow-up questions, would often prompt more the user with frameworks rather than doing the work for the user. And so I think that there are things like that where we can, depending on what you want out of a system, that might be one way to think about alignment with our values.
Hmm.
Another thing to think about is like the way that the system is built. And so one of the things that I've gotten to participate in is there's a movement of folks working toward public AI. This is AI that is publicly accessible, publicly accountable, and kind of has a sustainable public, ensuring a sustainable public foundation so that it doesn't get subjected to private enclosure. And in the public AI space, some of the questions are around how we actually build these systems in a way that is aligned with our values. And so one of the examples of this is the public AI inference utility. This is a pilot of a program pulling from various publicly built models. There's Swiss AI, there's Sea Lion, the Southeast Asian languages in one network model. These are systems that were built by public institutions or public interest institutions and have taken an approach to training and data collection that is in line with kind of being more open source, being more consensual, being centered on the cultural values of a particular space or a particular community. And so in these spaces, you might also think about AI system alignment in terms of how it is built. And so the public AI inference utility is actually a place where you can use some of these models for free and try them out if you'd like to. These are systems that they may be open source or open weight. Mozilla has been doing a lot here. Hugging Face has been doing a lot here. And so depending on what type of alignment you want, whether it's about like, is this a language model that gives me the response that I want in terms of preserving my critical thinking, or is this a model that was built in a way that is aligned with my values? There's still a spectrum of tools and resources out there. I'd say like one other thing that I think is sometimes lost in this moment is that so many people's idea of AI is essentially a chat interface. And language models are extraordinary, right? It's so fascinating and cool. When I was working at IBM back in like 2015, like the idea that we would have the kind of technology we have today, 10 years later, is mind blowing. We would not have guessed that we could be this far where we were then. That being said, there's lots of other types of AI that are out there. AI that is about, certainly video creation, AI that is about analyzing weather patterns, AI that is built for all different purposes. Certainly, you've encountered things in the medical space. And I don't want us to lose that AI is actually this really big umbrella term that contains a lot of different capabilities. Some of them have these kind of like user-oriented chat interfaces, some of which are built with different systems or sensors. But there's so many different things in this space that can be applicable to the impact sphere.